Christmas. I'm actually happy. I have the ability to actually sit down. I actually thought I would talk to you guys a little bit about me and who I am. Put this over here. So, dolls in the background. Where to begin? So, me before the doll, before everything is the way it is. Well, first of all, let me explain. I am getting better with my hip. It's the top, so the back, right here at the top of the hip, is where there's a crack, and it's kind of like this, and just wiggles and gets out of place. That's been I haven't been sleeping very well at all. That's why I'm doing this at like 4 in the morning. But so I just thought I would tell you about who I am and what I came from. So I moved out to Texas when I was in 4th grade. I lived in California, LA. We moved out here, went to school. I was always a troublemaker. It wasn't until I was 19. I always wanted to make movies or do something in movies. I didn't really have a goal. I would always write like little stories and always win these writing competitions and stuff like that. The essays would always get like the highest grade and everything. And I ended up actually. Sorry. I ended up when I was 18. My parents are always never been supportive of any kind of dream I ever had. And when I was 18, I was swindled by some people, and my parents they don't make that much money, and I begged them to loan me $2,500 or something like that. It's a lot of money for them, and it was to put in an escrow account because we were going to get funding for something I wrote, and that never happened. But my dad gave me an ultimatum. He said, okay, if this doesn't work in a year, you got to quit everything you've ever wanted to do and move on, and that's it, or you are kicked out of my house. And so I lied and said, yeah, I'm going to do that. And then a year went by. I was 19. My dad was like, whatever happened about this? And nothing happened. I was really depressed. And he said, get the hell out of my house. And because I refused to give up. And I mean, I was still working at little dead-end jobs, but I refused to give up on that dream. And so he said, get out. Then I moved away to a friend's house. It's a couple 100 miles away in this big city. And then I was just living in basically his closet until he couldn't allow me to live there anymore. And for the next about 9 months, I lived on a park bench, and every weekend, sometimes on the weekends, I would stay at another friend's house. I would have to. I mean, it's really dark part. I mean, there's so much I could talk about on that, but I'll move on. I had to go home and accept humility. So I walked all the way back after days and days of not eating, and I was like, I walked all the way back to my family's home. Just it took a little over a week to get back, and I remember I was writing stories on like little boxes that I would find, just anything I could. Just writing on little boxes, writing on little pads of paper that I could find, and I walked back and I told my dad I had to get on my hands and knees and beg to come back, and I had to give up. I had to say, "Oh no, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to go for my dream. I'm going to give up on it, and I'm going to move on. I'm going to get a real job and stuff." So now I stayed at a waiting job for a while. Tried to get a modeling job. I mean, I was a model for like 3 days, and then moved on because until you're established, you don't get paid for like 6 months. So it's like I can't afford to drive out of my way. I had to drive like 3 hours away just to do the shoot at their studios. And it was like, I can't do that. So I quit. Never came back. And then I worked at a few dead-end jobs. I tried doing some warehouse jobs. I quit those things after a few people died, and I just couldn't. Died at the job. I mean, friends of mine, and I mean, through those days, I mean, I had so much unlucky things. I mean, we would get just sometimes I would have to walk to work in certain areas and stuff. You get jumped. I've had my nose completely removed, and they glued it back on. Because of my financial situation, I've had my thumb cut off, and it was like half off, just dangling there. I glued it on myself. I accidentally glued the tendon outside of it, and I have pictures. I could show it to people. Just a lot of injuries. I've been stabbed. I've been actually stabbed from here and got it down to there. And then I've also been set on fire. So that was actually a twofer. So the cut down, it set me on fire, so it kind of cauterized the wound. Been through a lot. I'm not going to go through every injury. I have cuts and scars everywhere. That's why even this hip thing, I got it looked at through like a Care Now. It's a couple of $100, and then I mean they said they could do surgery, but they said or just deal with it for a little while. I'm just dealing with it. So then I started a little web series a long while ago called Allegiance of Powers, and I mean it was on a show called a TV channel called Blip TV, and it was getting a lot of views. I mean it had like millions of viewers, and it was doing all right. And then I got on a couple of shows, just like low budget things, and to just do some PA work, and that just kind of gave me some kind of jobs, and no, that worked out pretty well. I started making my own production company. Now, when I say that, I'm not doing any of that. Like, I just write. Uh, I write scripts and novels and stuff now. I'm actually working on something I've been commissioned for Netflix, a mini-series. I have a meeting with them later this month. I'm just trying to heal up for that. But yeah, I've always been, one of my fondest memories is my parents have never really been like hanging out with me or anything like that. So I remember when I was a teenager and Ghost Hunters first came on. Yeah, teenager. I think Ghost Hunters first thing was like 2000, and yeah, I was a teenager by then. But my mom would always watch it every time Ghost Hunters was on. Ghost Hunter, Mom turn it on. She would be in there with us. We would all watch it. Me and my mom and my brother would watch it as like a little family. My dad would go to sleep because he worked early, but those fond memories. And I've always, every show that I've ever seen, every paranormal show, they'll maybe take 2 days doing something, and I've always thought, I want to see somebody actually live with something, document it. We have all this technology now, and honestly, one thing I hate all of the edits. The movies nowadays and stuff. You can edit things out. You can do this or do that. I mean, there's so much technology nowadays. You can do things. Clever little edits, clever little this or that. It just, the reason why I film these things with like my phone or stuff, I don't want people to think, oh look, there's some kind of high production value, because look, he's doing this for views or for this. I make a living without this. I mean, this is not at all. I can tell you right now, this doesn't pay any bills. So don't think that I'm doing this to get famous or anything. I have a good job, but no, I'm doing this. It's a hobby, and I know that people are like, oh well, if it's something that you want to actually do, why don't you put some time and effort into it? And it's like, I don't really have that kind of time. Like you see people like Markiplier or other people who put out these really structured videos. They have somebody full time editing these videos. I don't have that. It's just me. So by doing it on the phone, I can instantly just kind of scroll here, scroll there. Okay, boom, chop that off, just put it up. So that's why I don't look into editing full on things. Now sometimes when I have something really cool, I'm like, okay, let me try something really cool. Like I did that one nukes video, and I thought, okay, I'm gonna use multiple camera angles. This should be really cool. And she didn't do shit. and that really annoyed me. Uh, she didn't do anything. I was hoping that something was gonna come through. It would just been really cool. But that's the thing is I just want people to know that a little bit about me. I've never hid the fact that I, I, I do films. I mean, you could look my name up. I've done a lot of films. I've done TV shows. I've done web series, things like that. I know that. Uh, and somebody once told me, oh, you could easily be faking somehow with the doll. And you know what? Anybody can fake anything, unless you're actually there. How could you ever really fully tell? I mean, you have to trust the person who's doing these things. Um, but I try to really be as open as possible. When you guys ask me questions, I'm as open as possible. I'm not faking these things. And I mean, if that's something that you want to believe or you don't want to believe, that's fine. Yeah, everybody's open to their own opinion, but I'm not faking this. I have no need to fake it. I'm not trying to to become internet famous because oh look, I I'm a nobody. I just sit at home and I just do this. You know, that's what a lot of people say. Oh, you just sit at home and you just do YouTube videos. You could look me up. I travel a lot. I do movies. I do like actual things. I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to the whole Netflix thing for a mini series. I'm writing them, and then we start on. But off topic. I'm sorry. I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm not. I know you're like, oh well, you must be loaded. No, no, not at all. Um, people are like, oh, why don't you buy better cameras? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? I can't. Um, all the money I've ever made, I pump into computers, pump into cameras for the business, pump into this and that. I don't, I don't have any money. I kind of live paycheck to paycheck at the moment. I mean, it's not because I'm not good with my money. It's because, like, I mean, look, I just spent on the business. I just spent like $5,000 on one lens for. I don't know what they're doing. They're doing some kind of documentary series right now, and stuff. All the money that is ever made through my company is literally put back into the company, because I'm hoping for that one day where it's like, oh look, this movie does so big and it's gonna make so much money, and then it's like, oh look guys, now we have really good cameras everywhere. We have this and that. I could shoot this doll in 8K. Oh, I'll show you some really cool stuff. You'll see that there's nothing around her. And there's 12 cameras around her. It's like the Matrix kind of stuff where there's cameras all around. 360. Look, she's moving. But but right now, it's like I'm using my phone. But yeah, that's people are like, oh well, what about? I see on your. I have two Instagrams. I have my own name and I have the Spooky Links one. Spooky Links one is all about like the doll stuff, and then my own name one, I don't even go on it. So I just updated it, and I responded to like I think it was like a year old messages. I don't even go on that. So I mean, if you look up my name, and if I don't respond to that one, I'm sorry. But it's just it's just one of those things where that one I have a CGI computer that I do landscapes CGI, and you can see that on my one thing. And I normally post some of the uh, the visual effects that I do on there, and I don't do I'm not the kind of person. I don't know how to do like moving things. I don't know how to do people. I don't know how to do all that stuff. But I just do like if we need matte paintings in a movie, instead of hiring somebody for $5,000 for 1 minute for just a matte painting. It's like, oh, I'll do one in CGI. Okay, we can do that. But other than that, I'm not doing special effects. I'm not that kind of person. Uh, you have to have a love for it. You have to have some kind of. I just don't care all that much to sit there, and you have to go to college sometimes for these courses. I mean, they get in depth, and so I have that computer in the office, and I have a guy who comes in to actually do all of that stuff, and then of course my brother has his big editing rig and stuff for actually editing theatrical films and stuff, but everything doll related. It's just me. It's just me. This is just me with my phone, and that's it. Every now and then I'll say that I'll get like a audio professional to do things, and that's my brother. He's an audio professional, and he'll look at any of the audio that I collect and such. I'm not able to use any of the big cameras for filming, but mainly because I would have to hook everything up through a SDI connection to the big editing suite, and it's always editing something. So I never have access to that. So all I could ever use is the little. I bought a thermal camera for like $45. Not thermal. Night vision camera for $35, and I have a little I think for $600 about a little Blackmagic camera, and that turned out all right. I think I wasted my money a little bit, but I'm so sorry about this. But no, I'm just anything that you guys ask, I will show. I'll try. I haven't tried any cool things right now because of my back. Honestly, sometimes the things can be really startling, and I just really don't want to mess up my back or my hip. I don't have anything special going on to stop my hip from sliding out of place, and I really, it is a dangerous situation, especially when you're not being looked after by professionals. It could slip, and I could, or crack, or break. Heck, I haven't worked out for weeks, and I'm really feeling bad. I feel like I'm like, getting fat and wasting away, but no, I'm just saying that I'm going to continue with the doll stuff. I just need to make sure everything's kind of healed a little bit, because I am worried about not being able to walk. That is a huge worry. I'm starting to be able to walk, and that's really a good. I'm happy about that. I have had my spine dislocated in the past and stuff, so that scares me. Anything, anything that could really be life altering. that actually really does scare me. So, um, I just don't want you guys to think I'm just abandoning the channel or anything, but I'm not. I'm not. I'm seriously hurt, and I need to heal. I especially need to heal because I need to go to a meeting that could be really lucrative, because it's not just a mini series. We're I'm trying to push them into making multiple of these. So if that works really well, then we'll have a lot of nice cameras. I'll actually have money myself to do some really nice cameras to actually film the doll, and maybe actually get another computer so I can actually process the footage and do all of that, so you guys can see some really cool, crisp footage and not just the stuff from my phone, because I know that's a huge deal. It's a huge problem. I'm sorry that I seem out of it. I'm actually, the way I'm sitting, I normally lay down. The way I'm sitting is really hurting a lot. I'm starting to sweat. That's why that's why I'm kind of fidgeting while I'm talking. I'm just kind of, and I'm looking this way. I actually wear contacts, so I can't even see the camera. I just see a big green blur in front of me. But yeah, thank you everybody for your support. Thank you for caring. Thank you for your understanding. And I do believe, I don't believe in ghosts, even though they fascinate me. I don't believe in the human spirit still stuck on this plane. But I am open to some things going on. And I do hope that the doll has moved behind me, or something weird has happened during this entire thing, so that way I can put in the comments and be excited that I've put up at least some kind of doll video that's interesting. But I am really thankful, and I'm going to be continuing this. I know that a lot of people tell me to stop, but when you're really intrigued with something, when you really want to know, it's really kind of hard to stop. Everything you've ever seen is genuine. I've never hyped anything up. I've never I love one person said, I know he's not acting here because he's a terrible actor. So that made me laugh quite a bit. I still remember that. It was like a way long time ago comment. But it's funny. I really just, I'm not doing this to try to fool the world. I don't care enough. I really don't care what the general people think of me. It's not, that's not me being selfish. That's me understanding of who I am and my self-image, and understanding that other people saying, hey, you've terrible teeth, hey, you have this, you have that, hey, every now and then it sounds like you talk with a lisp because of your teeth. Oh, hey, you're this or that. You know, what people think of me is not changing me. And so I'm not trying to live in their eye and their shadow. in their criteria. I'm trying to just be me. This interests me, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to post it. And if it hits other people that they're interested as well, and they think this is interesting, then come watch. If if you think I'm just doing this for actual entertainment purposes, I'm not. This is like I'm trying to do this stuff for intrigue, to actually look at what could be happening, what could be there. I'm not doing this. If I wanted to entertain you guys, I would be making things up. I would be I would be having like the lights. I would pay for like fake TVs to fly off the walls or something, crash. I would do some fun stuff if I was going to sit here and do this for some crazy amount of entertainment. This is not a lie. This is just me trying to be as genuine as possible and really trying to set up real experiments, real things that you guys have sent me that could work, it could mean something. I look at everything through the scientific method. What's my hypothesis? You need variables that you can change, but you need something that's a static variable that doesn't change. Then you need dynamic variables, and you need. I look at everything through the scientific way of thinking, and you can't calculate every variable. So, what could be going on? There could be things that I'm not understanding, and that's what I'm looking at. So far, I've never been able to actually talk to her. That's a huge red flag for me. She's never said anything properly. So I'm going off on a tangent. I should really end this video. But thank you. Thank you, everybody. I'm sorry that I rambled. Sorry that I ranted. I know that nobody's going through this whole entire video. If you did, thank you. And I'll see you guys later.